Hey everybody, it's George Fotion, call Realty Best Palos Verdes Homes, and it's that time again. It's the month-end real estate market report for Palos Verdes in the South Bay. And the big questions that are on everybody's minds that I'm meeting is, gee, George, how's the market? Are prices going to go up? Are prices going to go down? Are prices going to stay the same? And ultimately, who knows, right? I mean, we take our best guesses and we try to figure it out based on um, measurable, fact-based, objective data. And that's what I'm going to lay out for you here. And you can draw your own conclusions. I'll try to keep this just to the facts, but I'll give you my opinion here and there. But ultimately, you know what? You're the client. I'm the broker. I do as you instruct. I'm here to give you the information so that you can make decisions that are best, that you see are best for you. All right, let's get right into it. Go to my website, palosverdeshomesbest.com. Click on this blog link over here on the right, and you'll want to use this blog post right here. If it's not the first one by the time you get to this site, don't worry about it. Just scroll up and down and you'll be able to get to it. So this is the one that you want. All right, now first things first, the video that you see here is going to be substituted by the one I'm doing now. This was the video for last month. And the first thing that I want to direct your attention to is this table. Let me use Palos Verdes Estates as an example on how all of this is laid out. You'll see Palos Verdes Peninsula as a whole, the greater South Bay as a market area, Rancho Palos Verdes as a market area, Rolling Hills Estates and Rolling Hills. But for the purposes of this example in this video, we're going to just look at Palos Verdes Estates. I keep track of a couple of different things, and my charts go back all the way to the early 90s. So, I mean, you should see the size of this spreadsheet. It's huge. But what I'm doing here is comparing equal 6-month periods of time. I want to take seasonality out of the equation. So I'm looking at February 1st, 2022 through July 31st, 2022, and for the same six-month period most recently. February 1st, 2023 through July 31st, 2023. I count up the number of properties that were listed, that's supply. And I count up the number of properties that were put into escrow as a measure of demand. And real estate being no different than any other commodity, its price is regulated by what? Supply and demand. So it's really that simple. So then what we do is calculate the differentials between those periods of time. We see that listing volume dropped, or supply dropped by a little bit more than 12% in those two equal 6-month periods of time. But demand dropped a little bit more in terms of the number of properties put into escrow. So if supplies are dropping, that's good for sellers. If demand is dropping, that's not so good for sellers. We want to see what the balance, what the relative difference is between those two to understand what's happening to the market's ability to absorb inventory through sale activity, otherwise what I call the unsold inventory index. So that jumped by not much, 1.12%, but it jumped by almost 10% for the difference between the last 6-month period of time, January 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2023. We had 239 days of unsold inventory during this period of time, 262 days of unsold inventory during the most recent 6-month period. So that's an increase of almost 10%. And I do that for each of the market areas. And then up here, you'll find varying charts that pictorialize, if you will, that data. For the peninsula as a whole, though, let's look at some of the things that are happening. Prices are down almost 9% in the two 6-month periods of time. Sale volume is down about 18%. which is better than what it was a few months ago when it was down almost 40%. And dollar per square foot is down 5%. And I go into the changes in the unsold inventory index graphically here that you saw down in the table. But let's go, I found this really interesting too. Let's go back to the first chart. I did this for both Palos Verdes Estates and the entire South Bay. And what I calculate here are prices. What was the median price during the last 6-month period versus the median price for the same 6 months, or sorry, that's wrong. Excuse me, the prices for this month, July of 2023, versus the price of homes July of 2022. So not 6-month periods, 1-month periods. And I calculate the difference there. And as you see here, there was a time back in 2010 where that differential was just horrible. The market started capitulating back in '08. We all know this. And prices started dropping. And then they started going up. And people were still kind of freaking out here in late '09. People were very scared to enter the market, which ended up really being the best time to enter the market because prices started really appreciating since then. And then in spring of 2022, the prices were pretty much at their highest, and we've kind of backed down a little bit. Prices were still, as you can see, this is the zero line. Prices were still higher than the month prior for the last year, but that rate of change was kind of slowing down, and now we're kind of into negative numbers. But quite frankly, the market, when I look at other data and I see the absorption rates for different markets, we're still at one of the lowest levels of unsold inventory in the last 15 years. In fact, we're at levels that are lower than when prices were appreciating higher. So this tells me, I think we've seen our correction. I think we've seen our price correction. And in my opinion, I think prices are going to start going up from here. Yes, interest rates were kind of a hit. Interest rates were raised so much, so fast, the entire real estate market went into a shock period. Maybe that's what the Fed was trying to do. But it looks like those rate increases might be at an end or near the end. People are getting used to it. And historically, we're still at interest rates that are way lower than the last 60 years. I mean, when I got into real estate in 1980, interest rates were 19%. So we're doing okay as far as that's concerned. Besides that, when I look at the sales on the peninsula in the last few months, did you know the almost 30% of the deals were all cash? And of the deals that were financed, the average down payment was about 62% down payment. So really, what real effect did rising interest rates have? Yeah, a little bit, but people are getting used to it. Buyers are entering the market in big numbers right now. So I think we've seen our correction, and I think we're going to see, in the next year or two, prices really going up again. All right, look, I've been talking now for almost 10 minutes. I think if you're a data geek like me, you're all over this stuff, but I'll let you kind of go through it the way you want to go through it when you come to the website. Thank you for watching, and come back to this website next month. I'll have everything updated once again, and we'll see if I'm right. All right, talk to you later.